Hello, so this is a video on how you can use Google Cloud Firestore. It's a NoSQL database scenario which can help you build your apps so much far quicker than anything using an SQL database. If you've got some data which just needs to be incorporated into a back-end environment, instead of using a full-on SQL database, you can use the new file store, which is so quick. The read and write times are really impressive, and even if your app goes offline, it will carry on syncing. And one of the other advantages, it works seamlessly, like it says here, with Cloud Functions, BigQuery, and a host of other things within the Google Cloud ecosystem. So really good opportunity to use something very quick and fiery for the back end of your app. I'm going to show you how you can use that within your environment, and then obviously you can make your tweaks, your changes as you wish to go forth. I'm going to use a simple example of adding the prices of Bitcoin and Litecoins. We got the gold in Bitcoin, the silver in Litecoin, and we're going to just take the prices of here and put that into our own little crypto app, which we're going to use using Firestore. So I've looked for Firestore. The old version is Datastore, which is like the previous version of this NoSQL database. So I'm going to switch it to native mode, which will give me Firestore. Switch to Cloud Firestore in native mode. Yeah, switch modes. Okay, close that. We can try that out afterwards. Is not available Firestore in database mode projects. Ruby collections. Okay, let's start a collection. So let's get this underway. I'm just thinking about that error message, but we'll go ahead and do that. So I'm going to call it crypto logger, and your document ID will be something which will be created automatically. It's a bit like a primary key in a SQL MySQL database environment. So in this bit, I only want to log two types of data: Bitcoin and Litecoin. So I'm going to do Bitcoin. I'm going to pick as it because it's going to be a number, and I'm going to put it 30,000. I'm going to pick the second one, which will be Litecoin. Again, the value will be a number, and it's £56.15. And now the third thing, what I'm going to do, I'm going to call it timestamp, because I want to log the time of day when these values are registered. And that's fine. I can use that format as a timestamp. So I'm going to save that. So now I have, let's just go back into indexes. I just want to make sure the data is showing up when we go into it. Okay, it does show there. So now we've got the data showing. So that is brilliant. So that is the way you can simply look for your information. So remember, the collection is, it's like the actual database, and then the document will be like the primary key, which corresponds to the two columns of Bitcoin and Litecoin, and timestamp can be another column where you've got the dates. So simpler as that's how to add data into your Firestore. So now let's do something a little bit special, and let's do a VM, a machine, and use some Python code to add the same type of data into this database. So the first thing you want to do is you're going to need a particular permission to use Firestore. So what we want to do is we've got a service account here. So I'm just going to go into that service account and I'm going to add, it's already got editor, but I'm just going to add a couple of roles just to pin it down to make sure it works through my VM. So one of the first ones I'm going to use is the one which is called Firestore Service Agent. So I'm just going to go here. Let's Firestore. There you go, Service Agent. Give Firestore Service Account access to manage resources. So I'm going to add that. And then just for good measure, I'm going to add a third one, which will be the service account user. So let's just, I'm not particularly sure you really need this, but I normally add this one just for good measure. Service account. We've got service account there, and there you go, service account user. So we can save those three. So I'll make a note of here 795. This is the one it starts with, and 766. So that's great. So now I'm going to go in and create a VM. And the reason I'm creating a VM is to kind of reenact a service or something which is outside the environment of Google Cloud, accessing it in. So let's create a new instance. We'll call it FS for Firestore. Just go down here and make sure that you got access to all APIs. Go in there and create that. That will just take a minute or two just to get created. So the VM is up. Now let's connect to it via SSH. Okay, so we're now into SSH. What I'm going to do, I'm just going to install Python to make sure everything's installed. So I think it's already installed by default, but there's no harm in just having a check. Let's have a look. Okay, that's done. I need to install pip. Install that. Okay, that's installed. So now we can install the Google Cloud Firestore module or package for Python. So let's just do that here. Pip install google.cloud.firestore. That's installing there now. Great. Let's just clear that page. Now I'm going to create a new file and I'm going to call it add data because we're adding data into our Firebase. So we've got the Python file open there. So now I can start writing some code which we can use to add the data in. So the first thing I want to do is import OS. Now I'm going to do from google.cloud import the Firestore package which we just installed. We're going to use date time as well because we're going to use the date time, yeah. And then I'm going to create a module. Firestore.client, and I'm going to put the name of the project I'm in. This is certainly useful for when you're outside your environment. So my project is called Rugby Green, which you can see on the left hand side there. So I'm going to put that in like that, and now I'm going to put a new variable, now date time dot now, which I'm going to call upon that as one of the um, variables of one part of the data, which will log at the time we do. So we're going to do new data equals, and we're going to put this in a dictionary. So we know Bitcoin. So now this bit here, you have to make sure it lines up with your column name. So mine's called Bitcoin, and the value is, so imagine now it was at 30,000 a few minutes ago. Imagine it's just taken a massive bull run we've just had in the last few minutes, and it's gone to 35,000. Okay, so that will be good for us. And then Litecoin equally has also experienced one. It was at £56 15 pence earlier. So let's imagine that's gone up to £75 50p. And then what we're going to do, we're going to use the timestamp, because that's part of our Firestore component, and we're going to point that to our previous variable which we've just created, and then the rest will close that up. Good. Then we can do an update time. Do that in lowercase actually. Update time. And then we can call it, I think we call the collection crypto logger. If we get a mistake, then we'll know why. Crypto logger equals the db.collection. That's the name of our collection which we use. Crypto logger. I can just call this one add. It just needs to be a variable. The main thing on which I'm going to call my collection was here, crypto. I can't remember if it was underscore crypto underscore logger or underscore. I'll put it in like that. If it's a problem, then we can check it out. And then we can call this new data. So that's new data. I'm just going to correct the previous line here because this is not set to new data. It's set to new there. So that's good. And then we can just say print data added successfully. Okay, great. So now let's save that. I just want to check the cloud store. So I'm just going to quickly put that on the side there, duplicate this and go back into Cloud Store. Okay, so we can have a look here. I called it crypto logger, so that is wrong, that bit there. And then I've got Bitcoin and Litecoin. Yeah, Bitcoin and Litecoin. Okay, so it looks good to me. So let's see now what happens. I'm going to save that, hit an X out of that, and I'm going to run that. So I'm going to do a Python add data. Okay, it's not Python, it's Python version 3. Okay, as no attribute client. Okay, let's just have a look at that. That's fine. It's good. If we get a few mistakes, that's no problem at all. So let's go in here and just have a look at the code. Yeah, I think I've made a typo here. So I'm just going to take the small c out, and that's good. DB Firestore client. That points at Firestore. Okay, let's save that and run that again. Data added successfully. Fantastic. Okay, let's go into here actually, and there you are. There we go. We got it all added here. So that's brilliant. So that's how you can use Firestore, which is absolutely superb for quick data you want to add into the back end of your app. Very straightforward. You don't have to use the Python method, which I explained, but that it is a very good, useful code which I've just given you there. And it's also a really good way to determine how you can negotiate and work with your Google Cloud environment from something outside of the ecosystem. So I hope you enjoyed that. I'll try to do more videos on Firestore and take it to another level, perhaps showing how the data can be um, displayed within your app, possibly looking how we can use other services working with Google Firestore. Thank you very much. Please subscribe, hit the like button, and I'm sure to get more of these type of videos out to you. Thank you.